Kelp can be found in Argentina, South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, Baja California, Alaska, San Diego, San Francisco, and the Catalina Islands, etc. Kelp can grow up to 30 to 70 feet long. However, clearwater kelp can grow up to 100 feet. They can grow up to 1 foot long every day. Kelp grow in cool coastal waters where sunlight can penetrate. They prefer a rocky seafloor. Kelp's preferences include a hard substrate, preferably rock, high nutrients such as nitrogen and phosphorus, a certain amount of sunlight, and a temperature of 50 to 65 degrees Fahrenheit. A kelp has 4 major parts: a holdfast, which are not like regular roots, but they do serve as anchoring them to the seafloor. But they are not responsible for absorbing nutrients or delivering the nutrients. A stipe is the kelp support's framework. Fronds are leaf-like structures attached to the stipe, and they also serve to deliver nutrients and photosynthesize. Also, there are nematophores, which are gas-filled bladders located on the base of the frond and provides a buoyancy to maintain upright position. Kelp forests also serve as a habitat for a diversity of species and plants, which will now be discussed in the following clip. A large predator in kelp forests is the sea otter, which eats invertebrates such as sea urchins, clams, mussels, and others. They either get a rock and smash the shell to retrieve their food, as shown in this video. Sea otters are very important because they keep the sea urchins populations decreasing, and they balance it out. So that is why the sea otter is very important in kelp forests. There's a great diversity of invertebrates in the bottom of the kelp forest. Some are substrated and some tend to move with the currents, such as sea stars and brittle stars. And they use their feet, their suction cups, to move. And the main predator of them all, though, is this one shown right here, which is the sunflower star, and it grows to be 1 meter long. And what it does is it uses its feet to taste the prey, and their main prey is brittle stars. As shown right here, the brittle stars seem to escape. It goes a little bit faster than the big star. But if that occurs, he also goes after sand dollars, which is shown in a few minutes before this, little seconds, which are those right there, are sand dollars. They tend to group up in order to escape, but unfortunately, sunflower star still gets them. What it does, with the stomach, it liquefies the sand dollar and kills them instantly, just leaving a white skeleton, which is shown in the little seconds right here. That's him liquefying the stomach right now and killing it. There you go. It's shown, as you can see, it's white. It's just the skeleton of it. And now, yeah. From the depths of Catalina Island, there's a special ecosystem known as the kelp forests, in whom contain a great diversity of species and plants, from the top to the bottom. As Garibaldi shown here, its beautiful color. It clicks in order to indicate its territory and to scare away predators. It can grow to be 14 inches and live up to 17 years. As you see there, that's a spiny lobster. It creates rasping sounds to repel predators and feasts on snails, clams, crabs, and sea urchins. There's a diversity of animals in kelp forests. Animals only eat 10% of kelp, so technically they are not a major threat to kelp, except for sea urchins. Right there is a sea slug, another sea slug there. And the main food source for most animals and the kelp forest is like the detritus and organic matter. And that's a brittle star. A brittle star has flexible arms for locomotion and can be 60 centimeters, 24 inches long. That's a coral reef octopus, and it blends in with the coral reef. This right here is a California moray eel. It eats shrimps, sea urchins, lobsters, and can grow to 5 feet. Those are just regular sardines. And this is a giant kelp fish. It uses the kelp to blend in, to camouflage. It can either turn red, brown, or green. And this right here is a giant sea bass. It can reach 8.2 feet and it weighs about 562 pounds. It feeds on smaller fish, lobsters, crabs, and squid. In the 1980s, it was point of extinction until groups of scientists were able to discover this and took precautions to save this animal. And slowly they have been developing and they have been found flourishing through the oceans of the kelp forests. Sea urchins are a major threat in kelp forests. What they do is they strive for the holdfast. The holdfast is what keeps the kelp in anchored into the rock, so that when waves come, that it won't be damaged or anything. But sea urchins, they have 5 teeth, which are very sharp and grow differently every month. As shown here, they are eating the holdfast and breaking apart the kelp. When this is done, the kelp dies off because it has no support and it goes into the ocean. And what helps a lot of this is that sea otters decrease the population of sea urchins, which increases the population of kelp because sea urchins are being killed. A known threat to kelp forests is human interaction, which is done by kelp harvesting. Kelp harvesting has grown in the years. They actually get 100,000 tons of kelp a year, just in California alone. There's many reasons for why kelp harvesting has been done. The main reason for kelp harvesting is to extract a substance from kelp, which is known as algin. It is used as an emulsifier added to ice cream, salad dressing, toothpaste, cosmetics, and hundreds of other products. The demand for kelp is increasing dramatically. You may not think that you're not contributing to this, but you actually are because you're buying these products, which is causing the demand to increase. If the demand increases, the supply needs to increase. So if that happens, the population of kelp is going to decrease dramatically, and many habitats are going to be destroyed, and animals are going to die off, and yeah, so it causes into more problems. So in order to stop this, please find a different resource for your products. Another threat to kelp forests is freshwater runoff, which carries with it pesticides, herbicides, and fertilizers. It's either causing a lot of pollution to the ocean waters, and it's delicating the balance of the kelp forest. It's losing the biodiversity. It's killing many species, either from toxic chemicals. And this is the kelp forest is a very fragile environment. So with the destruction of these caused by freshwater runoff, by a great multitude.